computer.
So you get enough recording, just enough to transfer then.
I don't even bother with saving it to. I just do it directly to my computer, and then I just do it mostly as a redundancy. I have one record to my computer. I have one go to Facebook Live. I have one go to YouTube Live, and then I have another go to Anchor. And that's what I do with every single one of mine.
I gotcha. That works. All right. We are live. Nobody's watching, but we're live. I picked up an i5 processor computer for $110.
Cool.
Yep.
Desktop or laptop?
Desktop. What are you doing, doggy? It's taking forever for my screen to load. I don't know what's going on.
Is it actually live on Facebook? Because I've refreshed the page and it's not showing the live stream.
It shows facebook.com is not responding on my end.
Yeah, this is part of the problem that I had with Zoom. It's very buggy at times.
Oh. So I guess I'm going to refresh the page, or should I kill the feed and start over?
Found sometimes I can go live on Safari. Sometimes I can go live on Chrome. Sometimes I can go live on neither. Sometimes I can do I could do the custom one every time, which I don't know if you have that without specially enabling it. I had to do a custom, I had to enable custom live streaming. And then I had to manually put in like 3 different things. I had to put in like a security code and 2 other links so that Zoom could connect with Facebook or YouTube. But then it locked one of the settings in there, and no one could tell me how to change it until I got the engineer, and then he explained to me how to do it. And it's really simple and easy, but if you don't know how, then it can be a headache. I have a support ticket open of trying to solve this problem that you're experiencing right now with it just not working.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's going to come of that.
Says that 5 people are watching. I hear my voice in the back.
Where does it say that? Because I'm not seeing it on the Facebook page.
I just see it on the, on the window. My mom's watching. She's behind me. Everything I say is repeating to me in about a 3-second delay. Oh, right. Zach must be on there. All right, well, for all intents and purposes, we're live on Facebook, except I think I'm getting blurry. Do I look blurry to you, Anthony?
Yeah, you're blurry.
Try to get some autofocus going on. I don't know why it's not picking up. All right, well, for all intents and purposes, we're live on Facebook, except I'm getting blurry. Do I look blurry to you, Anthony? Yeah, you're blurry. It's not picking me up. I don't know how to turn the camera off and back on again. I'd have to click the Zoom conference probably. Although I could stop video. That turned it off. Oh, you were right, Mom. Cool. All right, Anthony, I'm going to start a recording and just take off on the. Welcome to the podcast for August 20th, 2019. My name is Matt, and I am your host, and I am blurry, it looks like, on the feed. Tonight, we're going to start talking about assembling an attractive personality. And assembling an attractive personality is a part of the laws of success. And in the keys to success, 17 principles of personal achievement, it's actually the third chapter, assemble an attractive personality. I'm going to look in my book here. And see if it's in the actual laws of success as a law. Pleasing personality, lesson 9 in the laws of success. So for those that don't know, we study out of the laws of success in 16 lessons, but the other one is the 17 principles of personal achievement. And the 17 principles of personal achievement is the culmination of Napoleon Hill's work through the end of his life, and he brought everything together in this book. So that's why we study out of this book. The laws are in both books, but we study out of this book because it's more complete and it's more concise. So, it was someone that I wanted to come and join us on the Zoom conference, Tim. I wonder where he's at tonight. See if we can't send Tim a message and welcome him to the call. So anyway, the first step for assembling an attractive personality is a positive mental attitude. We have to keep our minds erased from the negative stuff so we're able to have a breeding ground for positive things. And if you want to have a pleasing personality, your ground has to be fertile with a positive mental attitude. That's going to be your first step for achieving or not necessarily your first step for achieving success, but your third step for achieving success is to have that pleasing personality. And the positive mental attitude is a subset of that. So the third step in achieving lasting success is to develop that pleasing personality. And it's a well-developed one, hopefully. There are 25 different aspects to your personality which we must strive to improve. And we can't be intimidated by that number because most of them are closely related. Working one will bolster the other or help strengthen many others. Now, a positive mental attitude is a right mental attitude in any given situation. And it's most oftenly composed of the plus characteristics symbolized by such words as faith, integrity, hope, optimism, courage, initiative, generosity, tolerance, tact, kindliness, and good common sense. We're going to refer to positive mental attitude as PMA for brevity. And it is the most important aspect of any attractive personality. Here I go blurry again. Indeed, it is crucial to many aspects of the 17 principles of success. The positive mental attitude influences our tone of voice, our posture, our facial expressions, and it modifies every word we say and determines the nature of the emotions we feel. It affects every thought we have and the results of our thoughts bring you. For the sake of contrast, we're going to examine the effects of a negative mental attitude. A negative mental attitude, it dampens our enthusiasm. It curtails our imagination. It undermines our desire to be cooperative, overthrows our self-control. It makes us sullen and intolerant. And as if these things weren't enough, it throws our reasoning out of gear. A negative mental attitude is so detrimental to our efforts that you're either better off staying at home than venturing out into the world with it. It will only make us enemies and corrupt our good works and alliances. A lawyer who goes into court with the best case in the world will convince neither judge nor jury if her attitude is negative. What kind of confidence would you have in a sullen, pessimistic doctor, no matter how many degrees hang on the wall? None. People simply will not tolerate a bad mental attitude. In contrast, a PMA opens doors and allows us to display our skills and ambitions. Imagine that lawyer presenting her case with confidence, gaining the ear of judge and jury because she is so distinctly self-assured. Wouldn't you rather be treated by a physician who sets us up at ease, answers our questions plainly, and demonstrates a knowledge of his field? Building a PMA is part of the other aspects of an attractive personality. As we read on, we'll see how understanding and applying each of these points reinforces our PMA. Flexibility. Being able to adapt ourselves quickly to a changing circumstance and emergency without panic or loss of temper is a significant skill as we struggle towards success. Having a flexible disposition means we must be like a chameleon, quickly harmonizing with our environment. Now, I know that when you have a positive mental attitude, you don't have those negative things in your head that prevent you from seeing things in a sunny light. So with a positive mental attitude, you're automatically going to be more flexible. Now, this does not mean shedding your principles or altering your goals. A chameleon is still a chameleon, regardless of whether it is brown or green. Flexibility means recognizing that our own mental attitude toward a situation determines if it is a disaster or a boon. If our product fails the first time out, is that good or bad? If we have flexibility, it's great. We have the opportunity to recognize flaws, to improve our product or its marketing early in the game. And because we have a PMA as well, we're in even a better position to seize that opportunity. Anthony, are you still with me out there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So I know that for me, positive mental attitude has been a struggle in my life. Have you noticed that as a struggle in your life?
Yeah, every day.
Every day, right? I think that there's something about the society we live in that isn't as wholesome as it used to be, and some of the things we used to do aren't there to build the grit and the wholesome life that we used to have. So society has changed, and the ticker is almost more leaning more towards negative than positive. So it kind of makes it harder and harder to live out in society because we see all this negativity around us. And perhaps that's from approaching it from a negative point of view. I mean, I look at it from another angle, and I walk outside the door and I walk down, and I think that things are more positive because we've got all this connectivity with the internet and Facebook, and we've got the technology better than we've ever had before. And my mind is set that things are positive. So I'm walking out the door that day and everything around me is bright. So I don't know if it's just a matter of the way I think about it or if it's really true, but it just seems like people are automatically geared towards the negative as opposed to the positive. So when we're out there in the world every day, like Anthony says, we almost have to fight to keep our attitudes positive, because there's almost this hypnotic rhythm that puts us to sleep. It lulls us into security and then causes us to fade into a sleep of negativity, and it blocks us off from any eternal or any it blocks us off from any third or fifth mind or whatever you call it. So being able to adapt ourselves quickly to changing circumstances and emergencies without panic or loss of temper is a significant skill as we struggle towards success. So when things hit us, we have to keep a positive mental attitude so that we can deal with them right. This does not mean shedding our principles or altering our goals. A chameleon is still a chameleon, regardless of whether it is brown or green. Flexibility also means that in every negotiation, we understand that the other party's needs and demands are ways in which we can better render the service we are offering in exchange. If someone needs our product a week before we have planned to deliver, we can recognize that he or she will not be the only client to make such a demand. Here then is our opportunity to discover how we can produce faster and better. So if somebody were to come in demanding a delivery of their shipment a week early, we would think that other people would have that same demand. So instead of getting mad about it, accept that other people are going to have this demand and try to figure out a workaround. I've had a similar situation in my life with cleaning. Just how cheap I'm doing one account, and I thought that, I don't know, that it was too cheap. And my negative mental attitude at that point caused me to think in terms of canceling the account or not working with them. But then my law of transmutation kicked in, and I started to think in terms of, what ways can I turn this into a positive, something positive. So you can do it. I believe you can. So promptness of decision. Dilly-dallying does not inspire popularity. In this fast-moving world, those who do not move quickly and cannot keep up with the parade get left behind. Successful people reach decisions definitely and quickly, and they become annoyed and are inconvenienced by others who do not. Prompt decision-making is a habit, and it is supported by our positive mental attitude, which gives us confidence. Have you noticed that at all in your life, Anthony?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is stuff that I notice in my life daily, honestly.
You're noticing the promptness of decision leads to success, or what exactly are you talking?
Yeah. I mean, building these habits into my life, just on a daily basis, I've been, making more decisions and, sticking to certain decisions and things like that. And the whole dilly-dallying, going back and forth, it's really hard. And sometimes, it's easy to overpromise. It's like your account you were talking about, not charging enough. Sometimes you just have to grit through it and, do the work for the lower price and try to get a higher price, or talk to the customer and, negotiate a new price. But
Yeah.
not making a decision probably makes you have more of a negative mental attitude. And the same thing with myself. That's what I've noticed with myself anyway, is that if I don't make a decision on something, or I feel powerless to make a decision on something, then I have a more negative mental attitude toward it.
Yeah, you feel more negative because you almost feel helpless. You feel bound, kind of. So when you don't have that promptness of decision, you're stuck in a rut.
Exactly.
How do you make decisions? I make decisions based on my gut feeling. I mean, is that similar to the way you make decisions, or where are you at?
Both. There's a little bit of a gut, but when I make a decision, sometimes like Claudine, my wife, she gets confused when I make a decision quickly because she doesn't understand the process that I went through to come to that decision. Because in my head, I went through 50 things and then made a decision.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, with a marriage or any kind of business partnership, where there's more than one person, not making a decision on one side can hold the other side back, and not understanding each other can hold the other side back.
Man, that's such a
So,
good point.
yeah.
I mean,
So,
what I just heard there was that one party holding up the decision-making process can hold up the other party. And what it triggered in my thought process was the fact that in a mastermind, you feed off of each other. And when Anthony is dilly-dallying, making up a decision, his wife isn't able to make up a decision. So it kind of puts a block there. Whereas the universe is a creative universe. And when one person has a negative mental attitude and they're blocked and does not allow the decision-making process to move forward with his partner, then it kind of fuddles the whole mastermind principle. Not that they're not working in harmony, not that they don't love each other, but in our discussion on the mastermind principle, I think it was last night, it talks about forming a mastermind alliance with other people, and then it talks about maintaining that alliance or forming that mastermind alliance, and underneath that it talks about maintaining your alliance. So within that maintaining your alliance is understanding. You have to have all members of the group must have a complete knowledge and comprehension of the nature, significance, and implication of a situation or a proposition that the group faces. So essentially, if Anthony is holding a thought process up in his head, then he can't engage with his wife, and it blocks off the mastermind. Not that the mastermind doesn't exist, but it limits the mastermind. So when we have that exchange of information, it creates the juices flowing for his wife, and then in turn she has a thought that shares with him, which in turn creates a solution or more thoughts, and then that's how the mastermind works. It works off of each other. So I really appreciate you sharing that with us. I know that having a quick decision, promptness of decision, has been something that I've heard in terms of success for a long time, that you people who are successful, they make up their minds quickly and they change their minds slowly. So I know that Napoleon Hill studied the richest men in the world. So if he found out that successful people make up their minds quickly and change them slowly, then we should pretty much count on that as a probability. I mean, he did spend the 20 years to study, so you would think that he was looking at that and observing. But we'll move on to the next point. The next point of assembling an attractive personality is courtesy, and that should go without being said. You have to be courteous because it's the cheapest and most profitable quality in the world. It is absolutely free, save for the moments it takes to express it. Unfortunately, today it's also scarce. Thus all the more valued when displayed. I wonder if we're still live on Facebook, Anthony.
Yeah, it says you are, but you went live on your personal page instead of the Law of Success page.
Oh, I did.
That's That's why I couldn't find it at first, but then I found it on your personal page.
Well, how'd I do that?
Probably when you went live from Zoom, you clicked on, well, you can go on your personal page or like a page you manage. There
Oh,
are two different options. There are, well, actually, I think there are a couple different places where there's different options that could